Hey everybody, Kyrix here, and I am announcing the start of a new channel. In the past month or so, I have been on a regular basis arguing in various videos on the Star Wars sequel trilogy. This started way back when The Last Jedi came out. It started with a specific video. I won't mention the YouTuber because I don't even know if the video exists anymore for you to even check my work on this. But he basically listed something like 30 to 50 things about The Last Jedi that just bugged the shit out of him that he thought was anti-Star Wars. And at the time, especially, I've come around a little bit more now, but at the time, I agreed that The Last Jedi was an absolutely horrendous movie in pretty much every regard. But I noticed that most of the shit he said about it was complete bullshit. And it was stuff that an actual Star Wars fan would call him out on. So I'm like, hey, you got a lot of things wrong in your video. And I proceeded to list every single thing he said. And a couple of them I agreed with wholeheartedly, sprinkled in a joke here or there. But for the most part, it's like, hey, this doesn't work the way you think it does. This doesn't work. Is like, one of his arguments was, oh, they made the First Order into Nazis. I'm like, the Empire were always Nazis. That wasn't a thing that the SJWs made up about them being evil white men. They were always evil white men. It's just now there's women in there too. And to my absolute shock, he basically called me out saying, oh, well, you don't know shit about Star Wars, and if you expect me to read any more of this shit, you better get your facts straight. And I'm like, bitch, I'm pulling from canon here. And when Rise of Skywalker came out, they've started in all over again. And I have been arguing again and again and just typing the same shit to the point where I'm yelling at people for stuff that I don't think they said because I've got like 8 different conversations going at any given time, and several are on the same video but in different comment threads, so I don't know what I've said to who and vice versa. So rather than just repeat myself endlessly, I decided I'm just going to make a channel addressing this shit. And as you can see by the logo up here, it's Star Wars for Casuals. Originally, I was just going to call it For Casuals FOR. Then as I'm typing in the requisite email address, I'm like, hey, how about I put the number 4 there? And I did that, and then I backspace. I'm like, no, this is Star Wars, Roman numeral 4 IV. And being the no-budget son of a bitch I am, I needed a logo of some sort. I don't want to just use my Larvitar. It's inappropriate for the setting. I mean, maybe if I could commission someone to have him holding a lightsaber, that'd be different, but it's not. So I'm sitting here thinking, well, I can go into like the photo editor and maybe do some font stuff. So I tried to look up what the font and text size was for the Star Wars logo, and I found a font generator, typed this out, tweaked a little bit, made a different version that's very lopsided for the channel logo because this was too big to encompass the whole thing. And I have made the channel. If you're interested in the channel, there are no videos at this time. I'm currently waiting to get access to footage, to actual footage that I can clip in, so that I can have the movies help with my little debunks, because a lot of the people in there are movie casuals who only think the movies are canon. And the shit they say is flat out debunked by the movies, and it would really help if I could not only say the thing, but then show them the movie scene in question to say, yeah, even the movies aren't on your side, dude. Now, Star Wars for Casuals isn't just for debunking people, it's for explaining to actual casuals. And I will explain the difference between casuals and filthy movie casuals in the actual channel itself, but it's to explain to casuals who don't want to do the deep lore dives, but might have questions. You know, not everyone has the time or the dedication to sift through hundreds of books and comics and video games and watch every episode of Rebels and whatnot, but they still want to know this shit. And maybe they don't want to go on Wikipedia because they don't know where to look. So this is my one-stop shop. It's, hey, if you ever wanted to know this, this is what it is. And there are a couple other Star Wars channels out there, which I've noticed that the ones that dig into the canon like I do as an individual are the ones who aren't making the wild claims about the sequel trilogy, how they're not Star Wars, or how Rey's a Mary Sue and whatnot. These are the channels that say, yeah, I didn't like these movies, but they are Star Wars. Whereas the screeching masses that don't know shit about Star Wars are the ones making all these wild accusations. I intend to do a series of videos on the channel where I basically debunk every plot hole, in quotes, that people have levied my way. Because I keep hearing that on these videos of, oh, the series is full of plot holes, or this movie's just one giant plot hole. I'm like, really? Tell me some of these plot holes. And they list them, and I'm like, that's not a plot hole, that's not a plot hole, that's not a plot hole. That didn't even happen, that's not a plot hole. And then I tell them why those aren't plot holes, and they're like, no, totally plot holes. No, I'm tired of typing out the same shit, now I'm making videos. If you are interested, I don't know if I mentioned this, go into my About tab or my featured channels. It will be listed there. At the time, it is my only featured channel. So click on that. That's Star Wars for Casuals. If you're interested, subscribe. You'll get all the videos as I put them up. I'm not expecting this to be super popular, and I really have no intention of monetizing, so you shouldn't get any ads on the videos. If you do, just use an ad blocker. You're not depriving me of anything. This is basically designed to be a free service for people who want to know about Star Wars from someone who has taken the time, who has taken 20-something years to learn everything they can about Legends and the current canon. Because that's my thing. I'm one of those fans who likes to delve into the lore and devour every single scrap of it they can get. I might also do minor book reviews on there, going over my favorite quotes from the books, etc. It's something I've tried to do several times before, but we'll do it again. Basically, as I listen to the book, whether it's the first time or a refresher course, I'll go on and say, hey, here's this book, here's what you should know, here's what you need to take away from it, here's what it will explain, etc. So, again, Star Wars for Casuals. Hopefully this channel will start rolling relatively soon, and I hope it helps a lot of people. Because there is a lot of misinformation about the franchise in general that I just want to debunk. And it's not just let's see, how do I word this? The issue I have with Star Wars fans isn't that they hate the sequel trilogy, because the sequel trilogy is near the bottom of my list in the trilogies. For me, it's prequels first, original trilogy, sequel trilogy. And yeah, I'm not a big fan. But I defend them because people are lying about Star Wars and it hurts the franchise. And I put up with this shit for 20 years and I'm done. I finally have a voice to argue back with, and I'm going to use it. And I remember that when the prequels came out, that was my jam. That was my thing. I grew up with Star Wars. I grew into the prequels. I was there for them and I loved everything about them. Well, most of everything about them. I could really do without the Padme, Anakin romance, and the Phantom Menace was kinda weird. But I love that era. That is my era. That is my jam. And I had to listen to people badmouth it for a decade or more. And now people have eased off the prequels because they have something new to hate. And there are people out there who love the sequel series, and now they're the ones listening to this. So my job is to be for them what no one was able to be for me. And the person who stands up, slaps these people in the mouth and says, no, you're wrong and here's why. So, one more time, Star Wars for Casuals, check it out. Bye-bye, everybody.